the history here and see what he's saying. Right, they actually brought the carriage that the guy was stabbed in into the courtroom. Which is ridiculous. That's an omnibus. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. 4 passengers inside and 4 on the rooftop. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. Yeah, buddy, you can't park this here. This isn't a mall. And this isn't a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Should point out to our foreign guests. Oh yeah, one other thing you need to know for context is that everyone in this courtroom is vaguely racist towards our characters. Every single person, maybe just everyone in this, I mean, it's to be expected, we're in Great Britain, right? But everyone's a little racist towards us. There's a skylight in the roof allowing a view of the interior from the seats above. Is this device real? The omnibus? Or a Jeep Cherokee? The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on the omnibus when the murder took place. Yeah, oi, we love the Queen. Dagon, I need you to give me good things to say in a British accent, so that I can dunk on the British, because I'm bad at coming up with things that British people say. Yeah, love England, 8 foreigners, 8 the French. Da French. That's how they came to witness the grim incident through the skylight. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. British in the late 1800s are not exactly known for their worldly sensibilities. Yeah, they were known for their really nice interior, right? Their great interior design and nothing else. Yeah, love da Mets, baby. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. Japanese culture is unaware of the racism stuff, same with most Asian countries, only the Western culture that's sensitive around these things. Look, Cash, I understand different cultural sensitivities and things like that. I just don't want to have to read out the words the Japanese or anything like that. I don't like it, not the Japanese, but those Japanese. I don't like that shit. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, including the body. Yeah, you Japanese, that's what he said. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. They were known for industrialization, yeah, and colonization, I would say a little bit. Maybe that was a little earlier. Yeah, I see no reason not to. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence. The 8-seater omnibus that was at the scene of the crime, there were passengers inside the carriage and on the roof. How much did you miss? You didn't, Pocket, all you missed was me recapping where we were. You have missed maybe 2 minutes of actual dialogue. Here, I can show you all of the dialogue you missed. You missed from here, this line right here that I am circling, to here. They entered the whole crime scene as evidence. Great Britain is simply extraordinary. I helped myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination. Ah, the game just told me that I should... Hang on. The game just told me I should examine this bitch. You ready? Remember them? Yeah, they rolled in the Jeep Omnibus Cherokee. Sponsor me. Born in Japan, 95% of everyone you meet will be homogeneously Japanese. Oh, that's a good point. That's a fair point, yeah. Let's open the door and go inside, shall we? The scene of a murder. Can we really just go in? We can just go inside? No one's gonna stop me from going in here? This is gonna be kind of sick in VR. That's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition. Yeah, sorry, that seemed important. Crystal Tower, it's already under construction. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event. I wanna hear that again, actually. Say that again to me. The great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. Crystal Tower. The Crystal Tower looks like the Eiffel Tower, right? Like is this is London making the Eiffel Tower? But it's crystal. Yeah, all right. That's Big Ben. This is Big Ben? Hmm. Oh, consider it. Hey, look, there's a blood stain here. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously. Unless it would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Would you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that? It was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here. Perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight. Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. That's a good point. Codex, an old man in Tokyo said to you, "Sorry, can you please go back to your old country?" At least he said sorry. That is... That's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. Okay, this is the same poster. London, Crystal Tower. Notice. I can't read that, it's too small. Yeah, there's no music here anyway. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck. There doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin at least. Okay. Take me out of here, please. I can just turn the bitch. Can I look at the upper area? Can you like zoom this out for me? So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here. People sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with cold air rushing past them, and they have to pay money to do so? That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as a punishment? Yunosuke, what the fuck are we talking? We're in court, dude! What are you talking about? This is the real price you pay to stay out so late. A ladder? You know nothing about the ladder? Pardon me, what does that say? Sorry, what does this say? You're not gonna let me talk about the Phoenix Wright omnibus? Pardon me? Why does it say that? Alembic? Excellent question. I'm not allowed to look on the underside. This is as low as it'll let me go. It's a time travel machine. Holy shit. It is. You're right. Can I actually examine these? I want to look at the blood. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Sorry, isn't it? Juanito, hello? Is this the new Hot Wheels game? No, I don't think it is. I'm not sure. You tell me. Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London. Nothing will come out of grumbling now. Is Mr. McGilded right-handed? Yeah. Unlucky. Blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating. Moose, I agree. It is a little weird to see Ryunosuke not losing his mind. Great point. Alright, let's see where they want me to go with this now. Begin the cross-examination. I don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. Can I use my sword on this guy? Ryunosuke? That must be a joke. It is a strange Strange thing to say. Okay, so let's get a rerun of what they're talking about here. It was the last bus of the evening I had few customers. I remember it well. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. And out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. That's right, he stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it. As soon as I heard that scream, I stopped my bus and then I saw it too. Okay. Beppo dude OD on caffeine and ADHD medication. I think this is actually Scrooge. I don't remember his first name, but I think this is Scrooge from that classic tale, but he doesn't have any money. Let us begin the pressing. Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it? I put it was as close as we can get to a racist caricature of a white person. One of these three men is Cranberry. Hey Cranberry, are you listening? Okay, Cranberry's Beppo. Yes, sir, that's right, sir. Ever so cold it was, sir. Freezing, in fact. I wanna... Okay. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time. Is that correct? That's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, though. No. Okay, these guys are normal. There were no other passengers when the incident took place. That's right. No other passengers like that, none. Okay. Nobody fled the scene of the crime, then. I have to say, the boss insists on it running. He does every evening. That's the last bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say. Atropus, thank you for my thank you for the 1 Beppo bit for my month. Oh, enjoy the monthly channel points. Hey, remind me, by the way, if I see Friend, I have to thank him because he subbed while I was without internet last night. Someone remind me to say thank you to Pasta Alfredo if we see him tonight. I'll probably remember now that I said this as well. What do you mean by that? Over there being so cold and everything, only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Y'all, Cranberry's gotta be here. 20 pence? Michael? I spend that much on the pub on the way home just trying to warm up again. He's saying he spends 20 pence on the gas there. Victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. I actually thought they were across from each other, so I'm not sure about this one. I saw them through the skylight and the roof of the carriage. That's right, when you sit up on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. Everything 20 whole pences could do. The Olympic, this is the Ben Shapiro cloning disaster, but with Mike Pence. There was a lamp on inside, so I had a pretty good view. So you're telling me they were both sitting in this bench. The 2 of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Ooh! But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded. Would you hear his Boston accent? Well, how can I put it politely? McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. Oh, you can't say that! You can't call Mr. McGilded a manlet. That is not admissible in court. This is just slander. You're going down, mister. Couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else. You're over. Mr. I gotta make myself look taller with this top hat that goes off the screen. You're probably standing on a box right now, aren't you? Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to the halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There is no room for doubt here. I wish there was. There's plenty of room for doubt. Don't worry, Phoenix. Out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. Tell me more. You actually saw the exact moment it happened. Mm-hmm. Oh, he has a cane? Are fair, dinkum, hardworking city bankers not considered trustworthy these days? Hey, Twitch chat, quick poll. Do you trust city bankers? Yes, no. If someone tells you their job occupation is a banker, do you trust them? No, no. Hell no. No. Aren't bankers the most corrupt of them all? Yeah. I feel like of all of the professions in the world, I trust a banker the least. I think I might trust a lawyer more. Juanito, thank you for the 1 bit for the nay as well. Enjoy your monthly channel point drop. I didn't mean it like that. Ryunosuke, I meant it like that. Actually. It's no good, I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail. Oh, Mr. Knife Man. Juror number 3, what's up? My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. That's not how this works, weirdo. You can't just make up your mind in the middle of the court trial. I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. Okay, you know what? Actually, hold on. Juror number 3, let's hear him out. I've changed my mind. I'm listening. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. Okay, yeah, okay, wait a minute. He's onto something here. Pardon. I have a lot of questions. I have multiple questions. Where did the fire come from? Can you say that? That little can you call the defendant a little leprechaun of a man? I think that just makes you biased. I'm pretty sure the fire idea, this is like fire for vote guilty, because you see the lady next to him has one as well. What? Pardon me? How the fuck did he do that? This fucking wizard bitch. This completely disqualifies the juror and he would have been removed from court. No, I mean, but Dusk, would that have happened in the 1800s? There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway. You can't do this. What? That's precisely what I was about to say. Fuck you, Mr. Monopoly. Eat shit. As the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors. Alright, it's a go next. Yes. I guess we should have studied the part of British law. That's how the members of the jury give their verdicts. They put their piece of fire on the big flaming scale to increase the fire weight to tip the scales. I didn't think that this game was going to be so much more ridiculous than Phoenix Wright 1 through 3. I thought Phoenix Wright 1 through 3 was wacky. This is absurd. Apparently, yes, white for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago. Those enormous scales fall completely to the black side. Does that mean do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen? How ridiculous is this, though? Cranberry, hello? Did you miss anything? I don't think you missed anything important, Cranberry. Very well, the court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Okay. I feel like that system is just stupid. Not from like from the standpoint of aesthetically or like that's not how they did it. I don't really care. The system is stupid because that has no actual impact on the gameplay. Those guys saying I think he did it doesn't change the fact that I still have 5 strikes. Unless this is like I can't press infinite times. Like the system that just doesn't make any sense to me as a game idea.
Hold it!
Carry on. He stabbed him, you say, and you were sitting up on the roof deck. That's right, I was up on the roof seats. Huh? Just checking. Remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I've been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out from his belly, that huge great knife. A grim sight indeed. This lady's cleaning nervously. This system is weird. Like, having this jury here is weird. The jury was just a bunch of faceless people in the last games, if I remember correctly. Hello, friend. Friend, thank you for 9 months, by the way. I was offline, and also scrolling has messed up my history. I did not see what these were. That appears to have made everyone more dubious that Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions. Yes, yes, sir. Is this the knife you saw? What? Shouldn't that be in evidence? Is that... This is the murder weapon. Couldn't... Like a stake through the heart? Like a stake through the heart? Van Zeeks. That is a blade of considerable size, Counsel. It is, and furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. Is it M? It's M. I bet it's W, actually. They probably forgot to set it to Wumbo. M for Magnus, perhaps, or McGilded. Take your pick. Cranberry. You thought. Seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake. But there are M's everywhere. Like... Yes, like in Mason.
Objection!
Yo, that was a good objection. Ooh, that was a good objection. I want to hear that again. This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No. This weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. Not conclusive, but compelling, Counsel. The murder weapon. A large-ish knife that was found lodged in the victim's abdomen. My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption... what's juror number 2 gonna say? Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths. Dispose of the rubbish. Oh boys, it's not looking too good. I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime. I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I'm now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. Yeah, maybe that meant innocent. Maybe she just missed. Not again. 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I make the situation worse. Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're very in the dark. I mean, there's plenty of fire. Suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks well may fly. Mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that'll give us a way to fight back. I'll keep trying. 4 of 6 is more than half. Now you gotta get 6 of 6 for a guilty verdict. Oh, was that the end? Oh, no. Okay. This is the last one.
Hold it!
Oh, Azure, thanks for the raid. You're here just in time for a very normal court proceeding. Hello, Raiders, /. Indeed. I'll pause for a second in case anyone who's joining on the raid doesn't want to catch Phoenix Wright spoilers. This is the 3rd case of Great Ace Attorney Chronicles we're playing here. And I'll give you guys, just in case. Alright, I'm gonna carry on. Azure, how was, I'm going to assume, XCOM 2 today? So, sit up. Practice better posture. Okay, and then the final mission we ran went a bit sideways. That's XCOM for you. Depending on how long it takes me to play this, I have been itching to play some XCOM too. Mr. Drone jumped your sniper and stunned him on his way out and he died? Ugh. Ugh. I should look at, I should actually look at Chimera Squad, I feel like. I didn't play it. But maybe I should play that. It could be fun to do. Just don't miss, and XCOM is a trivial game. True. That's a good point. Chimera Squad's a cool one. Maybe I'll play that after we finish this. I did play a... Last time I played Phoenix Wright, I followed it up by playing a turn-based strategy top-down game. Maybe we'll do that here as well. Alright. What am I? I'm pressing this guy on... As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too. What did you see? Peppa, what'd you see? That would be the passenger collapsed on the floor. That's incorrect. Referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. That's just wrong. That is wrong. Other passenger had that knife in his hands like this. This is completely wrong. Top-down turn-based strategy game, Divinity. No, it was Phoenix Point. Or no, I played Phoenix Point first, and then I played Phoenix Wright. Other way. So this time we'd be playing Phoenix Wright, and then playing top-down turn-based strategy. Other passenger, obviously referring to Mr. Magnus McGilded, and he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly. This seems completely wrong. My lord, I wish to speak. Juror number 5. As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself. You're a bitch. I've heard enough now. The horse has bolted, as they say. You're a bitch, juror number 5. Yeah, Granny's gonna save us by being too senile to vote. Peppa was a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says. Thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir. This is too unkind. That means the 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Yeah, the fire thing is absolutely just dramatics. Juror number 6. Yes, dear, what can I do for you? You've heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand. Oh yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know. Alright. Juror number 6, I'm a pretty big fan so far. Pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning? Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park it's called. Ah, she's tilted in the other direction. The gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. He's always doing wonderful things for the city. Where are the witnesses? Where'd the witnesses go? I wasn't done cross-examining. Hey, pardon me. Where are my witnesses? I have problems with what Beppo said. Give me back my witnesses this instant. Mother, may we go to the McGilded Public Library later and borrow some more books? You donated a library? This rich dude does not have money for a lawyer? No, he does, but no one would take the case because Van Zeeks is known as the butcher of wherever the fuck we are. Because he wins every case and embarrasses the defense every time. How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is? What? The philanthropist Magnus McGilded has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. Yeah. But where did all that wealth come from? Ooh. Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one with the very darkest of soul. 1 second. Pardon me, Van Zeeks. Shylock definition. Oh, this is the Merchant of Venice guy. I remember him. This is the Merchant of Venice dude. This is the Pound of Flesh guy. Non-cultured. I read the book like 7,000 years ago, Dagon, when it was written. I was there when Shakespeare wrote it, and then I read it then, and I haven't read it since, because honestly, it wasn't that good. Pound of flesh, gallon of blood, I don't care. Loser. Doesn't the merchant in that book get, like, super outsmarted? Doesn't he get, like... Doesn't he get giga outsmarted at the end? Like, he gets a pound of flesh, but it... Or... How does it work? You'll give me a pound of flesh? Cranberry, you missed earlier when they said, that this guy gets 20 pence, by the way. Pardon me. He's Shylock with the darkest of souls. What? Stone the crow lady, what are you knitting? Lady, what in the world? What is this? McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak. Well, this guy just found out about bankers. Man, this guy would not be very happy in the mid-2000s America, let me tell you. Hey, Van Zeeks, let me introduce you to Enron, baby. You're gonna love these guys. I've never heard any mention of that before. Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madame. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service? You're not saying the victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. Let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment day for his debts? Are you telling me that Magnus McGilded, if he's running a scheme like this, doesn't have goons to do the murder for him? Why would he not just pay someone to go, you know, make the guy take a long walk off a short pier? The brickmaker was destitute, he had lost his house, he had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. And the merciless philanthropist pretender Magnus McGilded. Yeah, but like, why would you kill someone that owes you money? Now they're never gonna make money to pay you back. Nosen, I agree. This is just negative money. I guess he's closing out his account. Oh, Sasato said hold it. Sasato, are you allowed to present here? Miss Sasato? You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. Where is the evidence to support your claim? Receipts, bitch! Is that blood? Van Zeeks. Is that blood? Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in a court of law. Ah, there it is. Lord Van Zeeks' hallowed chalice. His what? I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself. Hey, good courage, Sasato. As judicial assistant to the defense, I am simply doing my job. What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. Bet he meant to spell vain V-E-I-N. Dab, dab, dab. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Well, yeah, please show me that. Thank you. Don't drink that, it's blood. Pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. Hey, can I have the water, please? The debtor's ledger has been entered into the court record. I mean, I already have questions. Like, the testimony that Beppo gave had a problem with it. Are you telling... So, the story that they're telling me... Let me just walk you through this, because I don't know if this is gonna be a plot point or not, right? So look at this dude's chest, right? The way that Beppo explained this, so McGilded stabbed this guy, right? Beppo stopped the cart, turned around because of the scream, and as he turned around, the man pulled the knife out of this guy's chest and then just stabbed him again in the exact same spot? Is that what you're telling me? Because otherwise, unless this is an exact right cut, there would be a second hole in the shirt, right? So that's a problem, first of all. And second of all, how did he... How long was he stabbing this dude? Like, there's a lot of problems here. Yeah, one said he lunged forward, one said that he was sitting next to him. That is also true. Was the shirt's material lifted with the knife? I mean, but so the thing is, how long... It had to take him a second to stop the omnibus and turn around, right? Like, that had to take a while. So you're telling me that he stabbed this guy, pulled the knife out, waited for the bus to stop, held the knife, and then stabbed him again? Like, this testimony has many problems with it, and we're just moving on. "27 stab wounds. Ah yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum. The accused made quite certain he had ample recompense. Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes." Oh, Granny's mad. "Regrettably, madame, that is the modus operandi of the accused." Pardon me, I wanted to read this also. Open that bitch up. His portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of the London gentry. I really think we ought to look inside. Not as though we know any of the London gentry, do we? Yo, do you think Sholmes is in here? Open that bitch up. Yo, I can't read this. Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it? Suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off. Look at this, do you see the name here? Bruce Fairplay. That's the banker! The witness testifying the banker owes money. He borrowed 20 guineas. The repayment date is fast approaching. It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very... Wait a minute. Bruce Fairplay. Now look at another page, or is that it? Okay, it's the same dialogue. Now look at this real quick, too. That part is the sheath, yeah. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry, yes, I just don't really like blades. You have a katana! Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana. That's not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. There's some blood on this dude. An ornate letter M. That's definitely not a W, by the way. Wait a minute. Hold on. An ornate letter M, undeniably Magnus McGilded's initial. It is beautifully gilded. Must be very valuable. Look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. Oh. This is one of those turnabout cases. Hey, Phoenix Wright. I'm sure that this is an M. Okay. Hey, just wanted to point something out to you guys, if you would please. So check it out, right? W, right? So W. Juanito? Juanito, did you do the murder? Is this your knife? Reveal yourself. Is this the first ever Twitch chat interactive case? Leads the 5th. There's nothing more I can do. And that's the end. Power, hello, how's the stream going? So far, so good. Hopefully it stays this way. Charter. Ugh, that looks like a lot of blood. The knife was like all the way in this dude. Shouldn't this thing be soaked? Surely is blood. Ugh, an Englishman's blood looks a lot like a Japanese man's blood. Ryunosuke. Did you think it would? Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust. Yeah, why is there not more blood? It's only on the tip? But you're telling me... you know what? Actually, I can see it. It's like, it's a little in there. Alright. The modus operandi of the accused. Such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel. Still. Maybe it's all for the best. Hey, wait, lady. I don't stand for nonsense. I guess we lost, actually. Alright. That's the end. That was it. The last juror's decision. Bro, we didn't even get time to plead our fucking case. This is bullshit. According to this encyclopedia of British law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. Friend, this isn't how any court in the world works. Actually, it's how this one works, friend. And this is London. Oh. There's a footnote, though. However, the defense... bonk. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision. This is bullshit. I didn't even have a chance to plead my case. I didn't even get to take my turn. They just said, boom, guilty, bitch, move on. Fuck you. By delivering my final verdict, I trust there are no objections. Objection! Let me go. I wanna... Call me in. I'm ready. Tell me something, Sasato. You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense... When all members of the jury have concluded the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, However, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. What?
Objection!
Ooh, good objection. I love this guy's objection. A summation examination. From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Probably the one you were born in, weirdo. Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck. I didn't even get to say anything, dude. Yeah, Sasato, what is it? A summation examination. Do I get to get all of these jurors thrown out for their biases? You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails? I mean, I didn't even get a turn, dude. Typical Nipponese. Fuck you, buddy. Alright, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand it. It seems that under this procedure we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury. Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions, and it says here that... if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. What? In times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. That procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really, so it rather fell out of use. It was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age. Hey, well, I don't respect myself. Get me in there. I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. This book's 50 years old. They probably just got rid of it. I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't extinct. This is basically just Phoenix Wright with racism. This is Phoenix Wright, but every case has like 15 caveats before you get to the good part. A summation examination, our last possible option. You know what? I think I'm gonna admit defeat, actually. I give up. Go next. Naruhodo, are you sure that's the right decision? It's history. We barely know our way. What hope do we have of pulling it off? Perhaps what we don't know can work to our advantage. Yeah, what? There's only one course of action available to us here. What we can't afford to do is allow this trial to end. Alright, let's do it. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on Earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standard. Shut the fuck up. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried. You should remain buried in your coffin, weirdo. It's alright, it's alright. I believe it could prove vital in this trial. Defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed. Yeah. This is madness. I'm not There was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see. All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. Okay. I'll justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. God, it's so weird that they're doing it like this. I hope that this isn't a regular thing they do. I don't really hold with all this justifying lark. Seems to have thrown the jurors off. And I've experienced this before. I mean, probably not many of them have experienced being a jury before, to be fair. Just maybe it might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around. State the grounds you find Magnus McGilded guilty. Judicial finding. There was no one else inside of the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him. I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. Stuck the chap. Please do not stab your neighbor. He stuck the chap next to him, just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I have simply typed and collated all their statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion. You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years. Scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor, it begars belief. Alright, so that's clearly wrong. Starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Ryunosuke, are you stupid? Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, do they? Yeah, 4x4 is 16. There's many things about this. Just a moment, hold on. According to my book, that's not quite how it works. All their icy minds with heartwarming rhetoric. Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. They've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. It could recoil. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do? Present them evidence? Show them evidence as to why they're wrong? Contradiction? Objection? Hello? From what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the juror's own words to make your arguments. The 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is they're complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together. Okay, so pit juror 6 and 3 against each other, and juror 4 or 5 against the Beppo. That's the way to break them down. Okay, so we're gonna make them hate each other. Listen very carefully to what each member and see if we can identify any contradictory statements, and we contrast the statements and pit them against each other. Okay. Similar to a regular cross-examination. I have to pull this off. Let's go. The sword, dude, but the sword, though. No one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him. I guess, like, mechanically, this is kind of cool. So you can pit 2 and 5 against each other. You can pit 3 and 6 against each other. I would just like to say, this is not a real argument. I have typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion. Fuck you, juror number 4. You're an idiot and I hate you. Okay, so we're gonna do hit her and this guy.
Objection!
Objection. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Me? Oh dear, what have I said? I swear on Silver Blaze's main and name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about. Ooh, I like this walking around thing. Ashbait, hello, you like juror number 3? I kinda hate all of the jurors. According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares. Yeah? And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence. Toned it down in this, you think, but juror number 3 used to be all like, eat the rich. I think his exact words at the start of this case were, I hate rich people, and I think that they should all burn. He said something to that effect. Fair and convenient single price, just the way London's carriages should be operated. But that don't add up at all. In fact, that leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts. Are you stupid? 4 people times 4 pence. 16. You do the multiplication, it'd be 16 pence. Well, well, well. Benjo, hello, how's it going? Exactly, as I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different by 4 pence, in fact. Or 1 person's fare. Cranberry, I got this one, don't worry. Distinctly possible. There was another passenger we've heard nothing about. Curious. This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good, honest men. One and all. Trustworthiness is our watchword. Figures your coachman claims are most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy. Friend can field this one. Oh, Cranberry, you're okay with friends stealing your jokes, but not me? Ridiculous. Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus. Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end? Maybe change your vote. According to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire onto the innocent side of the set of scales. And there you go. Hold your horses there, coachman. We're all in agreement. Freeze. Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo. Oh fuck, juror number 5 is gonna be our next defense option. our next defendant is gonna be juror number 5 in the murder of Beppo. Begging your pardon, sir. I'm gonna do the same. I'm nuts at this game. Benjo, you got a table tennis tournament in 4 hours? Good luck. I hope it goes well. For the love of Mike. Mike Pence? A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters. I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Hey, can I pit the other 2 against each other, please? If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue. What do you mean? What do you mean, force 2 more jurors to change their minds? It's 4-2 now. Gross. I'm glad I get to pit 2 more jurors against each other, I guess. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination. Changing my leaning to innocent, I should like to hear what the slipshod bookkeeper has to say to himself. Alright. Pit.
Objection!
Those 2 statements are completely contradictory. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean? Hey, I can't be wrong because I don't know what the word you're saying means. We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the victim the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. Can't you see I'm busy here? You're not lifting up. Not straight up, dude. No, you're bending it backwards. How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Do you want to test me? Please stab. Dude, chill. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up, just like the prim banker said. Now then, juror number 6. How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madame? As far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. Wait, what? The coachman said so. Yeah, that was an inconsistency. Why wasn't I allowed to just call that out in cross-examination? Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. They're stabbing in totally different directions. I don't believe it. What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth. Yes. It's fair play. 100%. The trial ends now. We may never know the truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen? I can't abide people telling lies. True. Hey, that's neutral, baby. The scales? I don't believe it. Hey, juror number 3. Wait, now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all. Answer me this, Dark Jinx. What exactly is the problem? What of it if 2 witnesses have slightly different recollections of events? You are so stupid. Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus, and this young dandy saw him do it. Now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again, and this old lady saw him do it. What's to say it didn't happen like that? He would have 2 stab wounds. Who are you calling old? He would have 2 stab wounds. No, he's not right. It's out of the question. 1 stab wound. He would have a stab wound in the side. Please stop calling me a dark jinx. I don't like that. What you're suggesting isn't possible. It's out of the question. How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. Where's your evidence? That's what we want to see. 2 witnesses saw different moments. If you say it's out of the question, show me some proof. I would love to show you proof. Please allow me to show you irrefutable hard evidence. It's the picture. Because if he was stabbed in the side, he would have had a stab wound in his side.
Take that!
This clear piece of evidence. They say I've got no powers of persuasion. What? We have evidence that clearly contradicts that possibility? What do you mean? Alright, I'm saving. Yeah, I think he wants the death report. Single stab wound. Okay, it says single stab wound here. Okay. Fine.
Take that!
I think the picture should work too. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once. Quite simple, the victim was stabbed precisely one time, which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it. Happened 2 different times. Alright, I concede defeat. Alright, and now he's innocent. Alright, pack it in, boys, we won. He's innocent, go home. That means 4 jurors are leaning to not guilty. We've won. This shit's kinda easy. What are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut the fuck up, bitch. No one deceives me. But we had a consensus. I said, shut up, bitch. I know a liar when I see one, and if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take... You didn't have to do this. You... This guy did it, and if he didn't, we should put him to death anyway. Yeah, you know, Dusk, that's a good chant. Please tell me he's a barber. Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors are 2 to 4. Accordingly, there's no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue. He's still licking that thing. Did you see that? I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places, and I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth. So, Lord Van Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please. I'm gonna need another hit of blood. Oh, what? I did not expect him to do that. That moment of silence went on for very long. I respect that. Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hallowed chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zeeks, is it cold in here or is it just me? Hey, where'd the bottle go? Hey, where? Van Zeeks, where's the bottle? Where'd you put the bottle? Where is it? As your antiquated tome no doubt states, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination, so I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade. Charade, perhaps. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Oh, fuck. Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth. And why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Oh, Dusk was right. He took on his true form. His true form is him without a cape. Oh no, he's hot. It's the Hades boss fight all over again. I agree, this theme is a banger. Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure. Yes, sir, that I did, sir. Sounds like you're losing your job, Beppo, you piece of shit. Of course I heard it. Oh, yes, sir. I heard it. You, sir, on the end. The coachman, I believe. It's Beppo? Yes, sir, my lord, sir. If it transpires that in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir. Fifth passenger, grassy knoll. Beppo's toast? Yeah, this guy's getting the chair. Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination. And now there's going to be a change in their testimony, and we're going to hit them with that. I only carried 4 passengers that night, I swear it, but, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. He fiddled us on the fare, he did, and then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much. I tell ya, I saw McGilded stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. Yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes. I would like to once again draw your attention to the fact that there is no world where Beppo could have seen the man getting stabbed. The phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cozenage. What, 1 second here, Van Zeeks? Cozenage. The practice of deception, trickery. Blinkster, hello. Did the teenager girl die? Which one? Sato or the Russian lady? Beppo, explain yourself. I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster. The guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging your passengers by a penny a fare? It's so cold, and the last run of the day is always half empty. You have been dishonest. This dude is toast. I'm sorry. You're a disgrace, Beppo. A disgrace, and your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild. If I may, sir. Hey, what's up? I had to pay 10 pence on the bus last week? What the fuck? I've done the arithmetic 10 times already. I just can't make the difference come out. Hey, can we go back a second? He had to pay 10 pence on the bus? That is a lot. That's like 250%. Counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please. Please allow me to cross-examinate. You've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination. I see you intend to continue the parlor games. A juror drinking in court? Yeah. I mean, so was the prosecutor moments ago. Okay. I like this. That cross-examination thing's pretty clean. I only carried 4 passengers that night. I, for one, was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. He fiddled us on the fare, and then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. Isn't this a lie? Didn't he say he didn't see it? I tell you, I saw McGilded stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. He stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so. Yes. And we're just gonna go through and press everyone. We do a little save here. While I'm at it. Alright, Beppo. Give it up. So there were only 4 passengers on your carriage, but you didn't charge them the standard 4 pence fare. Is that right? It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. Okay, these guys look normal. I was so cold, it was all I could do to stop myself passing out. Getting chilblains just listening to you. 1 second. Chilblains. Patches of red, swollen, itchy skin caused by a combination of cold weather and poor circulation. I'm learning so many words. It was terrible, so I wanted to give myself a pat on the back for even keeping the bus running. Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger? Sorry, penny per passenger. You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. If only there had been a 5th passenger on the omnibus, we would have had another suspect. It's me, Austin. I, for one, was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. Hold it. Does that mean everyone on board that night paid 5 pence instead of 4? I paid 5 pence too. I just told you that I did. Hey, where's McGilden? Flat fare across the board, 5 pence. That's something to be proud of. So-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort. Much like the Phantom Killer, it's gone, dead, and buried. Fiddled us on the fare that I saw the blood-curdling sight. Tell me about the blood-curdling sight, please. This blood-curdling sight, you mean the murder, I presume. The moida. A loathsome sight. No one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken. Well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment the gent was stabbed. You just said that. Did he not just say I saw him get stabbed? You mean the murder. I saw the murder. Oh, I didn't actually see the murder. We have another witness who did. The banker has already testified to it. So first didn't actually see it. It turns out that was going to be very significant. Heard the banker gent next to me take a sharp intake of breath, see? That's when I looked through the glass. That's when I saw that horrible blade poking out from his belly, all covered in blood. He was just looking depressed. This contradicts his previous testimony? Yeah, I agree. Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming, even when I'm eating. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Real quick. I just gotta see if this actually works. Dear liberal, you claim that you can't stand to see a knife without screaming. How do you feel about this knife? There's clearly something odd about that last statement. Oh. Oh. That's disappointing. I thought I was gonna get him good there. Unlucky. But I could just show him the knife and he'd lose his mind. Alright. Well, yeah, I saw McGilded stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. We saw the defendant, Mr. McGilded, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was sitting next to him. That's what I said, isn't it? Bothering me before this was. For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question. Mm-hmm. Only the two of them inside the carriage, wasn't there? Mm-hmm. What are we wasting all this time for, eh? It's black and white, the man's guilty. Something about Mr. Fairplay's testimony just jars with me. Wish I could work out what it was. I feel like this is the game telling me that there's something wrong with what he just said. But let me press this man. I want to hear more of the Beppo dialogue. Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you? Yes, that's right. You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip. Pardon me? Ah, my bad. This is a lie, right? This has to be a lie. I suppose. I might have, put the cart before the horseman. Beppo, this is a lie. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats of the roof deck. From the seats of the roof deck? Okay, you still heard Mr. First scream. Then, when I turned around, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's a lie, too. He was not on the floor, he was in his seat. That's right, yes, and the fellow holding the handle was the famous man. In short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed. Can you add this to evidence, please? I need to be able to present the... I need to call you out on this. Go over it again in my head. No, I suppose I didn't actually... What? This is the pursue mechanic. I thought it was gonna be more subtle than this. I thought the game was gonna be more subtle with the pursuits than this. Iraq, hello, why is your math homework wrong? What subject of math?
Excuse me.
Pardon me. Would you like to tell me something, Mr. Chewing on my cane? Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay? Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that, eh? Go on. I might be able to extract some new information for him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? No. Well, it's a little hard to believe, certainly, unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on top of an omnibus, that is. Peeping? I'm a respectable city banker. That's an oxymoron. Is a W for a mustache? Oh my god, the W represents his weird mutton chop mustache. You're right, Xanth. I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as a Ballarat day. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you. Bonk. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Excuse me if I was getting a little too hot under the collar there, my lord. Wasn't the knife W? I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement of what exactly you saw. Tell you just how grim it was. Always gonna oversell it. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after the butcher stabbed that man? Those blood-soaked hands? Fair play? Well, well, well. Never mind the fact that 100% of what Beppo said was bullshit. Never mind the fact that every single word that has come out of this man's mouth is absolute horseshit. Fair play. It appears you have made a... Fair play. It appears you have made a... misplay. Blood-soaked hands. Well, I admit that soaked might be laying it on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over him. Both of them were covered in it. I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar. Here are the gloves worn by the defendant on the night in question. Oh yeah, that's right. He was wearing gloves. I gotta go. There certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. But as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove. Arg! This dude just became a gopher. I love... Everything else in this game, I think, has generally been a bit of a downgrade from Phoenix Wright. I love these nervous / breakdown events. Look at this dude. These are so good. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent. Yeah. But no, this can't be right. So you're the liar here then. I thought she was gonna throw that into him. That's right, you were quite clear about it. You said it was both hands. Grr. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth? Arg, Objection. It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. He said was wrong. The victim's blood was on the accused. No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands. It means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court. Why, I'm a city banker, for pity's sake, my word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate. He claims to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case? Get some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying. Could turn the tide. I do have evidence. Yeah. I have evidence. He's in debt. My lord? The defense is ready to present evidence. I think you just present evidence. Hi, Joe. Are you sure? Evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony. Garg. Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court. Ledger. Oh, my bad.
Take that!
Take that. Yeah, this guy's poor. This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGill. List of innocent victims crippled by the accused extortion. The point is, among the names of those debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay. What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused? No? Well, it's barely worthy of being called a debt. According to the ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say? Arg. Well, what of it? Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of moida. What would become of your debt? These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist. Wow. Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw, in a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant? Gug. Garg. Yeah. I hear you, buddy. Order! 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 I love the way this guy says order. Mr. Bruce Fairplay. Yes, my... Let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may have most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you, or did you not, see the precise moment in time in which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim? Oh god. Oh god, what happened? Your silence speak volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony. Okay. E-Rock, have fun with your chem homework. Good luck. Have fun out there. Chemistry. Daniels. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch. A pinch? It makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on Mr. McGilded's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained. Yeah, that's not good, buddy. Oh, Mr. Tips Fedora, what do you gotta say? Wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir. Go ahead, Tips Fedora. Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens. What? The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one. Second killer, grassy knoll. Ryunosuke just died from that one. I think how Ryunosuke has these crazy over-the-top reactions and Sasato just looks at him. It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear? Yargs. Mr. Naruhodo, this is good news. The course of the trial has been slightly shifted. I finally have a chance to turn things around here. Even Juror 3 screaming. Yeah, true. Why isn't this guy screaming every time that the knife gets licked? Great point. There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. Chapter. I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters. That does matter a lot. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them. Didn't actually see anything myself. Not until I heard that scream. I hate you, Beppo. I hope you did it so I can kill you. I want to pull the lever that says kill Beppo. Frames, Kaelric, you are correct. This is frameage. A little frames to spice things up, yeah. Let's see what Charter's feeling today. Ooh. This is good. I was thinking I could use a break from reading. This is a very taxing game on my voice. You know what? While these frames are happening, I'm gonna go get some water.